story that we're live. So, oh, is my mouth halfway open? It's halfway open.
That's okay. What's a link to this? How do I link people to
I
it?
can send it to you right now.
Oh, yeah. You think you're better than me?
No,
Oh,
it's not what it is. But we are live now.
oh, we're live now.
Man, I would love to spar with Jocko Willink because I see this picture and he just looks just like such a scary human being.
Damn. Why would you want to spar with him then?
Because he seems like such a badass and he's a black belt and he's strong. He's like apparently 240 pounds. And I
Is
think
he
he's like,
really?
that's what I heard. And he's like, what, 6 foot or 5'11"? That's a big man. Military, like, he would break me.
Come on.
Yeah.
Jocko.
He'd be a tough guy to tap out. I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
For sure.
No,
For
no,
sure.
no stranger to pain.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
let me send it to Nsima too. How about that?
Yeah, I got nothing.
It's coming. It's coming.
I got nothing over here. Anyway, oh, now something came through. Oh, now I clicked the wrong button. Oh, I got wrong button problems.
Why did I see like a butt pop up on your screen? What is that, Mark?
A butt? Did you see a butt pop up?
We have been doing a lot of posing lately.
I don't know what that was.
Oh, my goodness.
No, I actually hit. I don't know.
No, I was joking. I didn't see a butt.
Like, what? I think I hit the butt button.
Yeah.
Wait,
That's the new feature of the new
you sent me-
iPhone.
You sent me a link to the podcast that we're doing now.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to watch that?
I don't know, man.
Shit.
Technology. It's tough.
Technology.
Remove link. I guess so. All right. Oh my god. This is like watching me struggle with the fucking internet. It's like watching somebody play a video game that keeps dying, and you're like, just give me the goddamn controller. Just let me fucking jump Mario over that goddamn fire. I know how to do it right. You suck at this. So frustrating, right?
That game's hard. You ever gone back and try to play it?
No, yeah. Well, yeah, the original Mario.
Yeah.
Really, like when he's like Donkey Kong, I guess you would say, like, that was really hard.
Whoops, I turned it the other way.
come
Oh.
on.
All right, there we go.
Oh, and Nsima's hitting the wrong button over here.
There we go. There we go. Okay, cool.
Any goddamn way. The
Oh,
backyard, the backyard meet of the century, I was going to say, but I guess it's the extension of the backyard meet of the century, which is the meet that went down at Combat Sports Academy. We just had Kieran Fitzgibbons and Jessica Fitzgibbons on the show. They're the owners of CSA, and that's where Slingshot Record Breakers went down.
Mm-hmm.
And a bunch of records got broke, a bunch of records got broken, a bunch of records got smashed. And people always get pissy, when they watch these things back on YouTube. But we'll get to that in a moment. But man, the meet was great. A lot of awesome energy. What I like about what this contest has evolved into, this kind of started out as Jesse Burdick and I talking about getting some of the biggest badasses together. And back years ago, we had Reebok sponsor it, and we're like, no, we'll just use a bunch of Reebok's money, and it'll be a lot of fun, and we'll get to hang out with the best lifters in the world. We'll fly people out and so on, and we'll put thousands of dollars at stake, and a lot of the best lifters in the world will come out of the woodwork to lift there. And Jesse and I personally invited a lot of the best lifters in the world to come lift at this event. But what we recognized was that even though it was great to have the best lifters in the world there, we quickly recognized that that's not really what it's about. That's not really what powerlifting is about. And we recognized that so many up-and-coming lifters and so many lifters that were kind of novice lifters loved sharing the platform with some of these professional lifters, some of these lifters that have been doing it for a long time. And so over the years, it has become kind of more and more mixed than it has been just a simple showcase of one mutant after another. And this competition, I think, um, really showcased that quite a bit because there was a bunch of mutants like this guy here we're watching on YouTube, Edward Blair, crushing a 704-pound squat,
Yeah.
weighing 219. I mean, there was a lot of great performances on this day, but there's not. It's not like the backyard meet of the century where we had, Eric Lillibridge and one world record holder after another, really kind of fighting for that top position. This is more like we have, in each flight. And each flight is kind of represented of the type of weights the people are going to be moving for the day. And there was probably, I don't know, maybe about, I would say, 20 lifters that I would consider to be pro at this meet. Maybe a little bit more out of the 60 lifters. So it was a good mix. It was a good mix of newer lifters and good mix of some professionals that are moving some crazy weights.
And the goal of the meet is to get some records broken, though, right? Like that's
Absolutely.
why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You want to see the records broken, and I think that's part of the reason why a lot of people like to compete in this meet, because not only they're going to see a record broken, they're going to kind of see it firsthand. They're going to get to rub elbows with these people, and they're going to see these people in the warm-up room, and they're lifting on the same platform. They're going through the same set of circumstances. And here's our boy Jimbo Cooper with an 830-pound squat. But yeah, it was just, man, it's just a great atmosphere. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Is it me or does Jimbo squat almost like a bodybuilder?
Yeah, his hips are a little like not really moving back a lot. He's not driving the butt way back, and he definitely squats a little bit like a bodybuilder. Knees go forward 1st.
Like he's just like more upright. Because like when I saw him squatting, it reminded me of oh wow, I feel terrible. He was dang it.
Tom Platts.
Bodybuilder that was here a while ago. Oh my gosh.
I think. I know who you're
Anyway,
talking
it's
about.
reminded me of a bodybuilder that we had on the podcast recently. It's gonna kill me. I'm gonna figure out who it is. God dang it.
You know what though? In this video, you mentioned how like a lot of people are just overall getting stronger within the powerlifting community. Like lifts that used to be really impressive, like pulling 700 or what of that. Everyone's pulling that now. I think it's not only because of meets like this where all of these lifters together doing just immense amounts of weight, but it's also because of like you see it all the time. Like you see people posting videos of their 800-pound pull, 900-pound pull, 1,000-pound pull,
Yeah.
and it's like it's just like when the 4-minute mile was broken and then everyone started running 4-minute miles. I feel like it's heading in that direction.
Yeah, look at this guy, Tyler. With a 959-pound squat. A lot of people don't even know who this guy is. I think you're absolutely right. I think you're seeing more and more big lifts pop up on social media. And then you're also seeing more big lifts being shared on social media too. Guys like Eddie Hall that have thousands and thousands or millions and millions of followers. You're seeing people like that, reposting and collaborating with some of the best lifters in the world. I saw him recently with the guy who broke the all-time world record in the bench press, Julius Maddox. And so like that gives the sport a lot of exposure. And then plus you're just seeing people just kind of on the daily just, posting an 800-pound pull. Look at this 550-pound bench press right here.
At 219. God, he lifts so beautifully.
He did it pretty easy too.
Yeah, so fast.
Edward Blair.
Yeah, that guy was a freak. Every time he just like on all of his lifts, he made it look so fast and easy.
Yeah.
If you guys are listening and you don't know what we're talking about, there's a video on the Super Training channel that like you could legit just turn on right now. It was posted today, and it's part 1 of the meet recap, part 1 of the Record Breakers meet recap, where you can see all these crazy lifts.
I think one of the biggest reasons why, you've seen such a huge spike with how strong powerlifters are, I would say there's two main reasons. One is the training. The training has changed quite a bit from when I started. Normally used to just like lift. You would do the main lift one time a week, and you would just go hard that one time a week, and that's all you would do. You would, bench, or you would squat, or you would deadlift on a particular day, and you would just go nuts on it, and that would be that. And we utilized progressive overload, And for a few weeks, we'd do sets of 10, and then for a few weeks, we'd do sets of 8, and so on.
Mm.
And we'd work our way down to kind of a 5 sets of 5, and work our way downward more in reps as the contest got closer. We'd cut out assistance work as the meet got closer and closer,
Mm-hmm.
and we just kept making, you just kept making those kind of small changes, and you're just hitting those big singles as the contest came around. But nowadays, we see a lot of lifters using much higher frequency, and they do what they call spread fatigue. So rather than have the intensity be up on just a one given day a week that you work on your squat,
Yeah.
you're now going to squat 3 times a week, but you're not going to squat 3 times a week at 90% or 95%. It's probably going to look a little bit more like one day might be 70%, another day might be 80%, and on another day of the week it might be 85%.
Yeah.
And you might cycle through that. And there's a lot of different ways that people have utilized that. But the great thing is about utilizing that kind of frequency is it really increases your overall volume for the week, your overall volume for the month.
Mm-hmm.
You're handling a lot more weight in a shorter time span, and so therefore over a period of time you get way stronger, way faster, which, if I'm being totally honest, I've just thought it was so dumb when people started talking about, like, people would talk about bench squat and deadlift like in the same day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And then out of nowhere, people started getting like crazy, crazy strong. And I was like, oh, maybe I just didn't know
Mm-hmm.
that's something that you could do.
That's one thing that's cool about it, because it's like, I think that when it comes to that, some people can thrive off of high frequency. Like I thrive off high frequency when it comes to deadlifting. My deadlift gets better when I get a little bit higher frequency, but when it comes to other movements, frequency doesn't. I don't like doing it more frequently. And with those, I guess, newer adjustments to training, I mean, you could do whatever you pretty much, you can figure out more ideas to get stronger. Let's just put it out there. There's more tools
Yeah.
that you can use. It's not that, I don't think that one is the better. I don't think that more frequency is better than lower frequency type training. I just think that you now have more options to see what works better for you, because wasn't it Ed Cohn that hated high frequency training? Like he only deadlifted once a week or something like
Yeah,
that?
yeah. I don't even think, yeah. And so back to what you said about options, I don't even think he ever explored it. I think he just trained the muscle group once a week. He competed about twice a year, and he was pretty dead set in the way that he trained, and he used progressive overload. And he, would, after every contest though, what's similar, doesn't really matter what style of training that you do, you'll find this one common theme amongst the lifters that are smart. All the all the lifters that are intelligent and that have been around for a while is every single time they get done with a competition, they will let their body rest a little bit, and then they'll come back and they'll rebuild, and they'll try to do this very simple idea, this concept of rebuilding a bigger base, rebuilding, or not even rebuilding, just building a bigger base, building a bigger foundation. So now you have a bigger, stronger foundation, and now you can put more weight on that bigger, stronger foundation. Really makes a lot of sense. So when somebody gets done with a competition, they might come down in size a little bit. They might want to be a little healthier, but they're going to move into doing some bodybuilding stuff. They might clean up their diet a little bit because some of these powerlifters are trying to be on the top end of their weight class. And so they might kind of fluff up a little bit and chub out and be a little bloated for the contest. But as soon as the contest is over, they want to feel a little healthier. They want to feel a little bit better. And most of us have, not most of us, all of us, we still have like a side of us that wants to look better. So it doesn't matter if you're a big super heavyweight or who you are. Everybody wants to drop a couple lbs and be a little tighter and hammer out some Ronnie Coleman sets of rows and stuff like that, right? So we all get a little bit excited about some bodybuilding stuff.
Doug Frouchet.
There we go, our
big
boy Doug.
I'm like, I know, I can see the T-shirt that we
Yeah.
even made for him. Like,
Yeah.
why is his name not coming anyway?
Yeah, Doug, he shoves the knees forward quite a bit.
So his squat reminded me a lot of Jimbo Cooper's. They look
Yep.
similar.
Doug
Okay, and then the
Frouchet.
big lift of the meet.
Yeah, 953-pound deadlift by
Ooh.
our boy Kaylor Woolham.
Uh.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a double pump on that
Mhm.
one, and I didn't know what to think of it when I was standing there watching it. But the rule is that the weight can't come back down. And if you go back and watch that video, I think you can make an argument that the weight did come back down. But it's not an easy thing to really see. It does, however, look like he may have kind of double pumped the weight a small amount, but
Mm.
it's just it's very minimal. And not to make excuses for the judges, but to give you an excuse for the judges.
Mhm.
All the judges, we're always fans. The people that put these meets on, the people that are, Jesse Burdick runs the meet. Like, we're huge fans of lifting, and we want to see big lifts. And we're not trying to give away a lift. And I wasn't even a judge at this meet, neither was Jesse. But people get excited, and the crowd response to your lift is a huge factor in there. And so I mean, the weight didn't come off the ground,
That's what I was gonna
and then
ask.
when that double pump happened, the weight started to come off this is like one of these weird, like, football things. Sometimes you watch football and you're like,
Mhm.
how the hell can all the rules not have been explored at this point in our life? But when does the deadlift start? The deadlift starts when the lifter initiates the pull, but I would say it probably really starts when the weights leave the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rule is, like, once you start your lift, the weight cannot come back down. And so maybe he wasn't even really, like, is there a rule about how you can start? I don't know. I'm unaware of it.
Yeah, because you see people all the time. They will run up to the bar, shake it, and
Yeah.
and it's like, dude, that bar is going up and down like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
This is way different because he initiated the
Yeah.
pull. The way I look at it is like I can't imagine that going back down and then up with that much weight, with like some of the plates already kind of coming off the ground.
Mm-hmm.
How much can that help? I don't know. Maybe, I mean, it's incredible no matter what he did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it was amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, the old rule book, like, shit. It's like, I don't think anybody's gonna be like, oh, he found a
There's
loophole. Like, you have to just do half a deadlift and then go back down and then back up. Like, it's
in football nowadays, they have instant replay. So they're going to,
Mhm.
like, watch everything. They're going to watch everything over and over again. They got these real high speed cameras. They can watch it in super slow motion. They can, like, capture every angle and look at it, under this microscope. But I remember plays when I was a kid that would happen, and I remember the announcers being so pumped. They're like, "Just give it to him! Like, just give it to the guy." There's that. I know, Andrew, you'll know this one. That famous Steve Young run against, like, the Minnesota Vikings, and in that case, he clearly, like, ends up in the end zone. But, like, there's other cases where somebody just continues to, like, get away from the defender over and over and over again, and they, like, you can't really tell if they made it. You probably are thinking they didn't, but you're just like, I just want them to. And the same thing happens with lifting.
yeah.
The same thing happens. Um, like, even Michael Jordan, like, we all made up that he dunked from the free throw line, but he didn't.
He stepped
Yeah,
over.
he stepped over it. But in our
Mhm.
head, jump man, like, that's from when Michael Jordan dunked from the free throw line.
Right.
Yeah.
He took a nice, at least a full foot's worth of, like, his shoe worth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of being ahead of that line a little bit. And so sometimes we just get excited as fans and just want to see the guy get the damn
Yeah.
thing passed,
And nobody
very
talks
true.
about Vince Carter doing the exact same jump with two hands, though.
Yeah.
Jordan reached with one hand, dunked
Right.
it. Vince Carter was like, "Oh, check this out," and he just has both hands up.
Yeah, Vince Carter
fucking-
was
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't know
Vince
he did
Carter
that.
was a mutant.
yeah, former Sacramento King.
No, I get it.
Yeah, he was
Vince
only
Carter's still a mutant. He's in the NBA. He's the longest guy that's ever been in
Yeah.
the NBA.
Yeah.
I still got to get his damn jersey on the Kings uniform.
He's not here anymore though, right?
No, yeah, but I mean, he was awesome when he was here. Like, he had opportunities to go, like, insert whoever was hot that year that we got him,
Mm.
and he's like, "That's not my thing. I'm not chasing a ring."
Mm-hmm.
And he went to the Kings when we were really bad, and we're still actually probably the worst we've been in a long time. But he was dope, dude. It was so cool to have him in Sacramento, right? Like,
Yeah.
Vince Carter, like, it was incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Mark, can you tell me real quick, because his picture just came up,
Mm.
what happened here?
Oh yeah, look at that guy. So he's trying to get out of there with some knee sleeves, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, he was trying to jack a knee sleeve?
Yeah. Well, so
Hmm.
what happened was is I went to get some coffee, get fired up for the meet, and when I came back, this guy came up to me, and he was kind of frantic, and he was like, "Hey," he's like, "I just had to come and tell you in person." And my brother was with me, and my brother was like kind of thinking like, "What's this about?" I was kind of thinking the same thing. I'm like, "This guy's pretty big. Like, shit's about to go down. I'm ready for it, but this dude's pretty big, you know." Because I don't know. I don't know who the fuck's coming at me, right? And he's really, really wired and kind of fired up and super nervous. And then he's kind of like almost crying at the same time. And he's like, "Hey," he's like, "I just had to come to you. I had to come do this meet. I didn't want to do this meet. I got injured, uh, halfway through the training cycle, but I made myself do the contest even though I wasn't prepared for it. But I knew that you were going to be here, and I had to come to you, and I had to tell you this. I had to tell you that I'm the one that stole the knee sleeves from you, about a year ago from your store, and I got kicked out of your gym." And I was just like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, that was me." Like, he's like, I got kicked out, and he's like, somebody saw that I was stealing the knee sleeves, and I was like, "Oh, dude," I'm like, you know, uh, I think that's amazing that you're telling me. And so he went on to say like how much it haunted him, and like how like bad and good of an experience it really was for all that to happen.
Yeah.
He's like, "But I needed to get it off my back. I needed to, come here and tell you face to face." And I just said, "Hey," I said, "Sounds good." Just gave him a big old hug
Mm-hmm.
and said, "You're good to go. I'm not worried about it." And then, yeah, he and I just started talking a little while later, and I was telling him, I was like, "I think things happen for a reason, and I think that stealing is a shitty thing to do, but I was like, if we're all gonna actually be honest, we all steal, and we've all stolen from somebody at some point, some way." And you always like tell yourself little white lies about it. You're like, "Oh, it's not a big deal," stealing a pen from work, or and maybe sometimes it's not always super intentional, but as a kid, maybe you like borrow your friend's toy or what, right? Right? I mean, everyone's doing a little something that they shouldn't be,
Mm.
even if it's just like speeding, right? Like it's like
Oh
you're
yeah.
committing a crime of some sort every fucking day. You're rolling through a stop sign or doing something that you shouldn't really be doing.
Yeah.
Stealing, though, I think, is on a different level. And when you actually steal something from a store, that's pretty bad. But what I said to him was, I was like, "That's probably really good that you got caught, and
Mm-hmm.
probably good you got caught the way you did and where you did," because he was just super embarrassed about it. He's like,
Yeah.
"I love lifting," and he's like, he goes like, because of that situation, I almost felt like I had to throw all that away." And he just said he went he went through a lot just from having that situation happen and
Hmm.
everything. And I thought it was great. I thought it was great that he came up and, I mean, I think it was great that he stole from me, but I thought it was great that he came up and apologized for it.
Yeah.
So,
When I was telling some of the guys later that night, like that whole thing, because I think Chris Bell was kind of mentioning it, and so I like just went in and clarified what was happening, because he's like, "Yeah, I seen this guy come up to Mark. I didn't know what was going on." And so I explained, and the guys were like, "Oh, well, that's really cool to man up, and admit that you were wrong." I was like, "Yeah, I think it's awesome too. But if you guys are missing something,
yeah.
like we know where to go."
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just messing around. And then as far as Kaylor, he's going to pull more very soon, and there will be no controversy. Like
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
this is just a stepping stone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's already doing more in the gym.
Well, that
So
was something I was saying about the rest of the lifters as well. Some people are they're very judgmental online about like where the squats were, and they think Jimbo Cooper's squat was really high. And I was there for both days. I watched all the squats. I don't, I'm not particularly pumped about, somebody squatting really high and breaking somebody else's record. And then I'm, obviously not pumped to give away $1,000 for it either. Right. So, I mean, I thought most of the squats were really good. I did see two squats where I was like, I don't know what they saw on that one, but they got passed. Right. And I think that if we're thinking about most powerlifting meets, I mean, what's in question at every powerlifting meet in the history of the world is always squat depth. That this is nothing new. They've been fighting about this since the inception of powerlifting, and no one's
Yeah.
really ever tried to do anything about it other than, I guess, make it even more complicated than it needs to be.
Yeah, and then so for the video that we just showed previously, the camera angle is low, and
Right.
then it doesn't matter how low the squat is. If the camera's lower, you're looking up, so it's gonna be higher.
Higher.
Like that's just how it is. So when we set this camera up, we try to get eye level basically. So we did our best to try to like show what it actually looks like in person, but even still on camera, like you're not getting a full 360 view of the person. But there were some times where I was just like wow, like okay, that one passed, like I was, yeah, it just now because I'm more familiar. Like previously, like the first one, so it's funny, every time Record Breakers comes around, like I get the notifications on my phone like on this day a year ago. And I posted a picture of Nsima, like I didn't even know him, and I'm taking pictures of him at the first Record Breakers I went
Yeah.
to. But back then I had no idea what like depth even was, and now that I can see it and I can like, okay, like all right, I get what you guys are saying on some of these, but not all of them. Nowhere near as many as like the internet would have you think.
Yeah. And our boy Rob Flett was there too. He's super strong.
Oh my God, he's big.
Yeah.
He's a big, big boy. Yeah, that was somebody that I ended up meeting overseas, and I think I've shared the story before on the podcast. But it was great having him over here. Great having him at Super Training Gym, and then to see the performance that he put on. He shared a bunch of stuff with me on our drive up there, and man, that kid has he's overcome a lot. We talk about lift through it quite a bit. He's somebody that ran into some drug problems and ran into some issues early on in his life, and he's filled in those gaps with lifting. And I think that he's a great example of, like, here's a guy that didn't think much of himself, didn't have a lot of confidence, and now here he is, squatting, what he squats around 600 something pounds. I think he
Yeah.
deadlifted mid sixes and benched mid fours. This is his first powerlifting meet, so his numbers are not off the charts, and they're not
Still great numbers.
yeah, they're not huge for his weight class, I guess you'd say. But he's somebody that, I mean, if he continues on the path that he's on, he's going to really be moving around some crazy weights. Anyway, I love fucking powerlifting. I love going to these meets. I love seeing all these lifters. The acceleration of how quickly these people have gotten stronger, it still blows my mind. Every time I go to a meet, I'm always like, man, how is it every year people are just lifting more and more, and there's more names and there's more people where you're like, wait, who's this guy again? You're like, which guy is this? And then sometimes there's somebody who's been doing it for a while that comes in too, that you're like, oh, I kind of forgot that he's still doing it. Like Andrew Herbert, like, not that I forgot that Andrew is still lifting, but he's overcome a tremendous amount of injuries. He tore his tricep really bad a couple years ago. And that was another thing that was in question. People were like, "Oh, well, what's the deal with this bench?" I don't know. I don't know why the rule isn't like this in powerlifting, but if you can't extend your arm, you can show the judges that your arm is like locked. I don't know if the IPF and USAPL have the same rule, but you can show the judges, look, my arm, like, I'm kind of disabled in a way, doesn't move any further than right here. And that's where Andrew Herbert is. He doesn't have 100% range of motion. And so when he benches, that one side's going to be down. And it's like, I don't know how you judge that. It's going to not look great. But anyway, that guy is an animal. He squatted 942, I think. And then he deadlifted 892, I think,
It was
right?
high eights, yeah, 890 something.
Yeah, 890 and a 940. I mean, what in the world's going on with that guy?
Yeah. And as you mentioned, in terms of the sport progressing, man, just wait a few more years, because I've sent you a few of these lists from like a few 16, 17-year-old kids who are squatting 600 and 700 at 16, 17 years old.
Yeah.
That, like, you know, it all depends if the individual does stay with the sport.
It's insane.
But if they stay with the sport, my God.
Yeah, I mean it's nuts. You know, one time I got in sliding into the DMs, I got a message from a kid, and he said, "Hey, you know, what do you think of my deadlift?" And this kid's really super skinny, and it was just like a 705 deadlift, and I watched it, and I was like, "Oh my God!" I was like, "Well, what do I think? I think it looks awesome. Like that was great." And I had a little bit of advice. I was like, "Oh, you're maybe like over the bar a little bit, but it's like it's 700 pounds, and you look like you don't have any muscle." You know, I didn't say that to him, but he just looked really real thin. You know.
Yeah.
And he's like, "All right, cool, thanks." And then sent me like this program that he was trying. He's like, "Hey, you think I should do this?" And I took a look at it, and it included deadlifting twice a week and stuff like that. I said, "Yeah." I said, "That looks good. Like it looked like a well thought out plan." And I didn't want to. I wanted just to encourage him. You know, that's
Yeah.
usually what I do. I'm not gonna like sit here and try to nitpick somebody. And I was like, "Yeah, it looks pretty cool." And then it was like just a few weeks later, he sent me another video. He's like, "Here I am, you know, trying 755." And then he hit 755. And then I was like, "Well, that looked even a lot better than the 705. I mean, your form is better and you're lifting more weight." It wasn't too long after that, I get another video. He's like, "I hit 800 on my whatever birthday, 19th birthday or something like that." He hit an 804 deadlift, right?
Oh my God.
And that guy was Kaylor Woolham.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, "Oh shit, looks pretty good." You know, it's funny because I tease him all the time about getting bigger. I'm always like, "Dude, I'm like, you need to get bigger. You need to get bigger. You need to get bigger." It's really hard to pull 1,000 pounds, you know, if you're not a certain body weight, you know.
Mhm. Man,
And
no,
when I saw him at this meet, I mean, he looks pretty goddamn jacked.
his back is he's like he has this
He
like
still has
Superman
room.
taper.
He
Yeah.
still has a lot of room though to get bigger because he's still not heavy.
Mm.
But
He only weighed 219 or something, I think, right?
Oh my God. Really?
Yeah, he
I thought
always
he wasn't 240 something?
no. I think the projector had it wrong, but I know that I heard I think Jesse Burdick say like oh this damn it, he came in at 215. And like that's a thing that he does. He
Yeah.
always like whatever weight class he is, he's like, "Oh shit, I'm underweight again. Oh well." Like, oh my gosh, dude, like yeah. And then when Mark was telling that story, I was just like, "Oh man, that's crazy. Someone else?" And I'm like, "Oh, those numbers? Okay, it is Kaylor."
Yeah, it's Kaylor.
Yeah, and he did his 953 deadlift beltless, and it's like just I mean, maybe that's a preference for him. Maybe he's not exponentially that much stronger with a belt. Maybe he's not stronger at all with a belt. It's probably why he doesn't wear one. But the guy does a great job of getting in a good, strong position, and it's just amazing to see he continues to get stronger and stronger. And one of the things of advice he had for everybody out there that does deadlift sumo, he was like, pull conventional, in your training, do a lot of conventional pulling. I know that you pull sumo in competition, and you're a big proponent of bent over rows, and he is as well. And you guys
Mhm.
have kind of two different styles. Yours is more strict. His is more like just kind of do them whatever way you can. But just even the act of having your feet close together and moving around a barbell, whether you're deadlifting it or whether you're rowing it, is probably super beneficial just to train the lower back, right?
Yeah, it'll address a lot of weaknesses that you may have with your sumo, but I think honestly, like it's even more powerful for conventional pullers to pull sumo because like what I've seen is that like when a conventional puller pulls sumo, it's easier to cheat in the conventional deadlift than it is in sumo.
Mm.
In sumo, you have to take all the slack out of the bar. You have to use your hips. The bar's not going to move fast off of the ground. With conventional, you can just kind of, if you have a strong back, you can kind of rip it off the ground. But whenever conventional pullers lift sumo, it seems that like whenever they go back to conventional, boom, it's gained strength even without working it. So it works the same for sumo pullers too. But I think there's a lot of little things that good sumo pullers do that some conventional pullers don't.
Yeah, and I think I agree with you there, and you don't really see that much. You don't really see close stance squatters trying to squat wider. You don't really see conventional deadlifters trying to go out and mess around with a sumo deadlift. And a lot of them will say, "Oh, I can't sumo deadlift because it like kind of hurts." And it's like, well, that's probably a good indication that you should be working on it because like your hips shouldn't be that messed up. Like that, you should be able to open up your hips, and you don't really need to be able to lift a crazy amount of weight. But you should be proficient at it, and you should work on it. Think about this: like if something's only, let's say you have one lift that's at like 600 pounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say your deadlift's at 600 pounds conventional, and then you go to do a sumo pull, and you're only at like 300 pounds. Where do you think you have more room for improvement? You think you're going to be able to improve a lot to go from 600 to 633, or do you think it sounds a little bit easier to go from 315 to like 365?
Yeah.
That sumo pull will be easier to increase in strength because you are just not very good at it at the moment. So,
Mm-hmm.
yes, it will take a little time to adjust to it. But when you do get better, that might show up somewhere else. That might show up in your squat. It might show up just an increase in size because you have a new stimulus.
Yeah.
And it could also just show up in your conventional pull.
Did you ever have the experience of, because you were a conventional puller initially, correct?
Mhm.
Did you have the experience of switching to sumo and then feeling the burning sensation in your hips for months or weeks? Did that happen to you?
Um, Yeah, it took a while. It took a while to get used to it, especially in the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I can remember back, I had to think back a little bit. But yeah, because I was, I was brought up in powerlifting with like just old school stuff.
Yeah.
5 sets of 5, single ply powerlifting gear was just like it was the uniform. Like you guys they have singlets now.
Mm-hmm.
They had single ply squat suits then. Like that's
Yeah.
just there was no raw powerlifting. And so I was kind of brought into it in a very old school way. All you need is a belt and a squat suit, and you can pretty much go from there. And it was closer stance squats. It was conventional pull, and that's what we had. That's what we did. But yeah, as soon as you went to open up your legs and force your feet out wider, you were like. You're like, oh my God, I think I'm going to die. My whole body's going to split in half.
Mm-hmm. That was like, first off, that's not just only something that I felt when I switched to sumo from conventional, but a lot of other individuals that were conventional pullers that I had pull sumo for a little bit, a majority of them are like, oh my God, my hip flexors, they're burning. Cause like that's literally what I felt. My hip flexors were burning. It's like I couldn't recover. After a few, I think for me, it took a few months.
Yeah.
Then it went away. And then the sumo just like started to get stronger. But that's one thing that's one place where I think a lot of conventional pullers like say, oh, sumo's not for me, because they feel that there's an adaptation period for that. You'll
Yeah.
get used to that. And then seriously, it really will transfer over well to the conventional pull.
It makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
Andrew's been on this mission to get some abs for Christmas, and so we've been pushing on him. We've been leaning on him. I gave him a speech the other day, got him all fired up, and just making sure that he doesn't look back at it and be like, oh, you know what, I probably could have done. I probably could have done a lot better.
Mhm.
I want him at the end to be like, you know what, I put just about everything I got. You can always, there's always room for improvement, right? Put just about everything I had into this, and I'm excited about it, because that's what you're going to be excited about. You're not necessarily, going to be just completely overwhelmed with like where you got to or whatever, but you'll be the most pumped about just the effort. You'll be like, I put that effort in every day
Mm-hmm.
for weeks on end, and that's what you'll be the most excited about.
I was so excited. So I text Mark because he had mentioned the day, maybe it was yesterday. It was all in the text thread, but he's like, hey, like training 5 a.m. tomorrow. I'm like, okay, I'm supposed to hit the step mill either Thursday or Friday. We usually train Fridays regardless. So I'm like, okay, am I going to do one day or the other, or am I going to do both? Because then I have the weekend coming up also where I do Saturday, Sunday step mill before coming here to train. So I just like, hey, like what day? And he's like, just go ahead and do it tomorrow. I'm like, okay, cool. I got up at 12:20, jumped out of bed, 12:20 a.m. So I went to bed I went to bed late, but I went to bed around 9, and I got up at midnight, jumped out of bed. I seen that it was 2:20 or whatever it was.
12:20 or 2:20?
12:20, thinking it was 2:20.
Okay.
So I'm like, I got to get up anyway, so I might as well just go. I got up, I started putting my clothes on, and then I looked at the clock again. I'm like, oh, I still have 2 hours.
Dude,
or whatever.
weird shit happens in the middle of the night. I've done that before a bunch of times too.
Yeah. So then I well, I can't go now. Like, okay, well, I have a couple hours of sleep. I'm gonna go back to bed. I got up and it was, 2 something, and I just like, you know what? I'm getting up now.
Mm.
Looked over and yeah, my alarm clock went off at 2:45, but I was so pumped up to just go to go jump on the step mill. It just something's happening, dude, and it's freaking amazing. And just yeah, and I'm gonna get tired today for sure. Like I didn't get much sleep, and so I had been training from like 3:30 till 7 a.m. like today. It's pretty amazing. Like yeah,
You did the step mill. You then worked out with Mark.
yeah.
And took a walk.
So step mill, time commuting,
Mm-hmm.
and then we walked for like half an hour, and then we trained for whatever long, and then we walked again. And yeah, I just look up at the clock and it's like, oh shit, like we got a lot in, but I have been moving for a while already, Talk about that was full effort
And some of that like is
this
in
morning.
you know some of that is you can look at that and be like, oh my god, like we're getting into like some overtraining, right?
Mm.
But some of it's just intentional, just to make sure that that habit is there.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to go like a little nutso, make sure the habit's there, make sure we're going to get on the step mill, make sure you're feeling comfortable with it. And then, of course, you can always, like I had a lot of communication with Hani Rambad throughout the bodybuilding show and stuff. And, he would check in on me and I was usually doing okay. I mean, everything was, I'm trying to think if there was a time where I was really like wiped out or anything. I think at one point I just told him, I was like, I'm just feeling kind of skinny. Like I feel like I can do whatever you want me to do, but it's up to you. You asked me how I felt. I just said I was just feeling skinny. So then gave me like a cheat meal or whatever, and that was about it.
Mhm.
But yeah, communication, just like letting us know how you're feeling and all that will be really important. But yeah, trying to ingrain that that cardio in the beginning is a real bitch. Otherwise, I would just say you can do it whenever you want.
Have you ever done cardio this much in the past?
So when I was talking to Mark about it, I've always incorporated it somewhere, but I never did it like smart, right? Like I know like, oh, I gotta warm up. That's what people do. They jump on the treadmill before they hit the weights. Like that's just what I thought people did.
Yeah.
And then on leg days, I would always end with the step mill, but for like 15 minutes or whatever. And I'm always looking at the clock because at the time I had to like actually clock in for work. So
How long are you
was
doing
like,
it now, by the way?
Mark asked, well, he told me to do 20 minutes just because I know that's what Hani had him do. And it's like, I know it's going to be more eventually. So I'm overshooting right now. So I've been doing 30 minutes every time I touch the step mill. The first time wasn't on purpose. It was just like, the step mill stopped at 20 minutes. I'm like, hey, I'm not done. Like I keep going.
Yeah.
And then I looked up, I'm like, oh, okay, I probably should stop. And then today it was just like, I'm going to go until till 4 a.m. And that just happened to be right exactly at 30 minutes. But previously, yeah, like I didn't do it smart. I just did it just to move around, and there wasn't a purpose for it.
You would just do it for like warm up and stuff
I would
like
do
that,
it
right?
for a warm up,
Yeah.
and because I thought that's what you're supposed to do.
Right.
Now that there is a purpose, like I'm leaving, my hoodie on, I'm leaving my beanie on, and I'm like, but when I get off of it, like, yeah, I'm sweating pretty good, and it feels awesome because like the commute here is like, okay, like whatever happens at the gym, I'm warmed up, ready to go now. Like that was really cool. And then Mark, he had me drink a protein shake if I'm gonna have these higher volume days, where I normally wouldn't, and I mean, it was probably the best protein shake I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
It was amazing having a shake that early in the morning when I normally wouldn't be having anything. And that was also really weird. Having a little like, oh, what's this?
Yeah, my God, this is so good.
Yeah. So eventually, I know the step mill's longer durations are not gonna be as fun, but like Mark said, it's ingraining these habits into my daily right now, so that way it's not such a big chore later.
It might increase, but it might not. Because it might even decrease. It might even tell you to back off. Because we just need to see, just continue. See what you look like.
Yeah.
On a kind of a every other day basis, kind of see what you look like, and then but not every other day for right now. But as you get closer,
Mhm.
as you get closer to that day, the more we know, the more we can help.
Yeah, and then another thing that's actually starting to happen is like now that I am showing some definition and I'm really pumped up about it. When I see like on Instagram or something, I see somebody else with abs. I'm like, huh, I thought they had more like definition. I thought they had bigger abs or something.
Mm.
Mm.
It's like I feel like maybe because I'm getting closer to it and it doesn't seem like it's so far out of reach. It's like oh, it isn't a unicorn. Like it's just
Yeah.
yeah, it's a thing.
About 2 weeks from now, you're going to be totally disgusted with a lot of people too. It's a weird, it's a weird fucking thing. Did that happen to you?
Nsima feels like that every day
No.
when he
No.
looks at the human
It
race.
didn't happen to you?
That doesn't happen to me. No, I think that everyone's on their own journey, and you're all
Everyone's doing their
No,
best.
when you're bodybuilding, you're just like, these people are fucking disgusting pigs.
Yo, bro, no, like, okay,
It's bad. You feel like a bad wrestler, like a heel wrestler, like
Oh,
can
yeah,
come out and
yeah.
give him a promo on everybody about how fat they are and how you're gonna fat shame them to death or whatever. It's crazy. I don't know why. Like your mind just goes in that.
I'm gonna be super vague because I don't know if this person's listening, but a friend of mine, I'm helping out her dad, and her dad lost like I think like 20 pounds so far, right? And the mom is like not losing that much as fast as the dad, but like he's walking around the house and looking at himself in the mirror, and he's starting to be all like
Check himself out.
getting hella confident. She's like, I don't like this. He's getting too confident.
That's
You know
great.
what I mean?
That's great.
That's awesome.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking, and this is because I'm filming more stuff and whatnot. But like, I'm taking way more like pictures of myself.
Yeah.
At first I'm like, this is so shallow. Like I don't like this. And then now I'm like, okay, I'm gonna like favorite this on my camera reel, so that way I can look at the other ones I favorited and scroll like okay, yeah, that does look a little bit better. Like sick.
Nah, man, it's great. It's honestly like that's why it's so awesome when you're making a transformation for yourself, because you're becoming a more confident individual, even though like yeah, your body's changing, but other aspects of yourself are changing.
Right,
That's
right.
why you just said I don't know what's going on right now, but things are happening,
Yeah.
and you're transforming into a different Andrew.
Yeah, and I'm loving the workouts right now. Like
Mhm.
today was pretty brutal. But I mean, dude, like we did shoulders, by the way, sorry. And I mean, we totally torched our shoulders.
We're getting jacked and tan. That's what we're doing.
Yeah. It's amazing. Yeah. But-
It's great.
But like the way we did it today, it was like we don't even need the sun. Like everything's on fire. It's just gonna cook and we're just gonna naturally tan,
Good for you guys. I hope your tan goes well. I hope you guys are able to achieve it.
We'll never be able to catch up to you, I don't think.
Doubt it,
No.
but you guys can get pretty. You
We-
guys,
Maybe with a
you
tan-
just
a
tan
spray
yourself.
tan?
Do the spray tan that you did for your show. You'll be right there.
Oh god, I was like orange for this show. That was crazy, and it got all over everything. That was
Yeah.
terrible.
And it was like if you touch like almost like an old donut, like the frosting on the top.
Oh, yeah.
Like it doesn't wipe off, but like you like I feel something.
Yeah, it's all over everything all the time.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Did you have to use any tanner?
Yeah, I did. I
Right.
use something called Dream Tan actually for my shows, and Dream Tan isn't just like your typical spray tan. It's this tan that's like it's in a thing, and you take it and you have to like pat it in, and you can't touch anything because anywhere you walk, Dream Tan will get on it. But it's literally like the best tan for bodybuilding. If you're gonna do a show,
Yeah.
you want to apply Dream Tan because it just makes everything look even and well. It's not like spray tans where when you start to sweat, you start to look
Right,
all
right, right.
drippy and nah. Dream Tan stays.
That's
It's-
probably the shit I use. I don't remember, but I do know that like if I touched a wall or something, it was like on the wall. You know?
Man, it was a weird experience having to help. Okay, so when I was doing my show, I was with my boy Vernon, and Vernon's also really dope natural bodybuilder. I think his Instagram is VWill something if you guys want to check him out. But when we were applying Dream Tan, I was like, wait, how are we gonna apply this? How are we gonna apply this? Because like it's we had to put socks over our dicks, and then we just pat each other down and applied the Dream Tan before the show. It was a very awkward experience, but he's my bro, so yeah,
That's why it's called Dream Tan, because it makes dreams come true.
makes dreams come true. But
Oh my god.
uh-huh.
So Andrew, you got another gym membership too, right?
Yeah. So I mentioned on the previous podcast, like I tried to make. Well, I didn't try. Like the gym owner was making a deal for me because I like, hey, dude, like I have this one specific goal.
Mm-hmm.
I just need that step mill till the end of the year. I was like, and that's it. Like, I'm not gonna pretend that like, oh, you guys might keep me around. He's just like, all right, well, how's this? $50, 24-hour access till January 1st. I'm like, sold. And then I'm like, can I get 2 of those though? And he starts laughing. I'm like, yeah, I need one for my girl. And so he said, yeah, but it's a small gym. It's got 24-hour access, which is huge. And then in comparison to like 24-hour the gym themselves, that chain, it's like, I mean, there's no way I'd be able to get that price.
No.
You know what I mean?
Of course not.
It's got everything that a normal gym would need. Squat rack, 1 or 2 of them, flat bench, incline bench, decline bench, and then a rack of weights, along with some other machines that we don't have here, which I might, start like wandering off of the step mill and kind of head over there. And the one that they have, it's like you hold the handles and then you just raise your shoulder.
Oh,
Man,
yeah.
my shit's sore right now. But I love that machine.
The machine lateral raise is amazing.
Yeah, they got that. They got the seated calf raise. But it's cool, man, because it's a completely different environment. I honestly thought I would never go back to that gym because I did go to that gym before I came here. And then after experiencing working out with the team, working out with Mark, not having headphones and being on a team is so different than what it was in the past. Like that meme, empty gym equals a happy gym or whatever it is. That used to be me. I would hate it when people were in the gym like here we go again. Like, man, hopefully they're not doing the same thing I'm doing. Or if I'm benching, I would switch my workout because somebody else was on there.
Dude, I'm trying to superset, bro.
Yeah. Like, yes, I'm still on that. No, you can't work in.
Damn, you were a dick.
No, I would never say that, but I wanted to say that stuff,
Like, I have a pump going, bro.
Yeah, but like I was so quiet, like nobody would even approach me anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a different experience for damn sure. It's a little weird, but I like being so focused on knowing that like, hey, I'm just gonna go hop up on that step mill, and then when I'm done, I'm out. Like, it's really cool. And then, but when I go, there's nobody working, so I don't have to like, I don't know, say hi to anybody. I just go and get to work.
Yeah,
it made a huge difference in my bodybuilding show, going from here, going to Gold's Gym in Venice and training with O'Hearn. Obviously, like just Mike is going to kind of amp things up a little bit, but there was many training sessions where we weren't able to link up, and just having access to different machines really just changed things for me quite a bit. And just it changes your perspective on the way that you train and the way that you see other people train. Because sometimes you're watching people train in the gym and you're like, what is that guy doing? Like, why is that guy starting out with cable crossovers? Like, shouldn't he, start out with a compound movement? But like, just sometimes people just have different goals.
How about, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but how about the guy when we were training at the other gym in Davis, when he's talking to this chick for at least 15 minutes. And then she's like, oh, well, what's your goals? And, she said something. And she's like, how about yours? Like, oh, I just want to look like Captain America. And Mark's like, you're not going to look like Captain America talking for over an hour, you piece of shit. It's like, it was so funny because it just, in Mark fashion, it just came right, like, just right off the top of the head. Perfect timing, punchline, everything was just perfect. And I was just like,
he didn't hear it, right?
No, of course not.
We were just messing around.
But yeah, I'm totally messing around. But it was just funny because it was true. Like, dude, like you've been talking for a long time. You're not really gonna get where you're trying to go.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think in terms of different gyms, I think it's really important though because, like, for example, that machine you just mentioned, that the seated lateral shoulder raise. What do you think about the reason why you love it is because when you're doing a normal dumbbell lateral raise, first off, it's very difficult to have to control. The seated lateral raise has that same range of motion, and you can load that way heavier than you can load with dumbbells. So that's why you feel such a better pump. That's why bodybuilders love machines, because like you can hit all these different muscle groups. Like there's a machine at one of the gyms that I go to. It's a seated hamstring curl machine, not a prone. It's seated. And I feel my hamstring activate so much more in that machine than anything I ever used.
Yeah, those are great.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually you can literally feel your body raise off the seat because your hamstrings are like growing because they're flexing, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And like, I love that for my hamstrings. Like, so that's why I like getting all these different machines. But I also think that like, there's a guy I know that he's been training in his garage gym for like 5 years, and he's like been making progress, but it's been really slow. I've been trying to tell him, dude, just go get a gym membership. Right now he's saying it's too far or whatever, but get yourself out of there, because there's so many other machines that you could start working with. You can get so much different stimulus. I know you can get far with a pair of dumbbells and some, or not a pair, but a rack of dumbbells and some barbells. But yo, if you add these into the mix, it's so different. There's so much to gain there.
Well, there's so many other exercises that you can do, which that is super motivating. And then on top of it, like maybe you've been stuck in a rut for a while. Maybe you just are training at a commercial gym or training at a place that just doesn't have that much equipment,
Mm-hmm.
or you just been at a place for 12 years and it's like time to just, try a different place. You don't have to like switch gyms or nothing. Just get another gym membership. Like if it means that much to you and you feel like you're stuck and you feel like you're not making progress, you're unmotivated, try a different place. And if you're single, there's going to be different people to mingle with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything will be different. The culture will be different. Some gyms have like a smoothie bar. Some gyms don't. I mean, there's a lot of different things some gyms are loaded with tons of cardio equipment. Some gyms have tons of free weights. Like there's a lot of different options that might be available to you.
Yeah. Mark, can you explain? Well, I guess you can explain why you want me going to another gym, but maybe can you explain that, like what that is? Like taking yourself from your house, out of your house, driving to a gym to focus kind of like on yourself.
Yeah. So, if you're trying to get someone to break some habits and to start to employ some new ones, uh, people always think like the best thing to do is to lower the barrier of entry and to make it like really easy. And they're like, okay, well, if this person's been really heavy their whole life and they've been battling obesity, and I just stick a treadmill in their house, then it's going to get used a lot.
Mm.
But we know that doesn't work that way, right? That's not true. Things in life can't really be just given to you that way. And I feel like the more like things don't have to be so difficult. And I'm not saying that this works great for everything, but in a lot of cases this works really well. The more that you have to work for something, the more rewarding it's going to feel, because you need to, discipline is really surrounded in a totally different word that people don't really talk about that much. But your discipline is actually a skill set. It's actually a skill like that. It takes skill. It's something that's going to take time. It's going to take practice. And when you mix time and practice together, you end up with a skill. You will have a skill. You already have a skill to wake up early. You got used to that. Now it's a skill to drive your ass to a different location to get yourself on. You know, just going into your garage. I think there's maybe like, oh, Jasmine wants to do this, or my wife wants to do that. It's probably a little too easy to be like, yeah, I should spend more time with the family, because you should, right? 100%. Like that should always be the priority. But getting yourself somewhere else. Now you're isolated, you're away, people can't get a hold of you. Yeah, you have your phone or whatever, but you got headphones on. It gives you your own space, your own time, and everybody needs that, whether it's they're going for walks or, I mean, when I was doing cardio, that was a huge thing I missed after the bodybuilding show. I was like, I don't have that same time. Now, after a while, it was starting to get like sickening, because I was doing 90 minutes a day. It was horrible, but
Mm.
I really enjoyed being able to listen to podcasts, and all the time I had to listen to music. I don't know, I learned a lot about myself because I kept feeling like I had to dig deeper and deeper, and I felt like there was nothing left. I'm like, this is fucking stupid. Like, there's nothing. I keep trying to dig deeper, and there's nothing here. Like, I'm fucking tired. I don't want to do, like, I feel like I don't want to do this anymore, but I know that I have to do it. So I'm just going to keep forcing myself to do it. And the only way that I was forcing myself to do it was because I developed a skill set towards it, and because it was kind of difficult. And even when I was here, just driving back and forth to do the stuff here, the diet was so difficult that it made it challenging enough that it got me excited. You want challenges. I think people always think that you want things to be easier, and you don't really want things to be easier. You just want to be better. Like, you just want to be more skillful. you don't want to just like you don't really want stuff to be better. Like you don't want to go to jujitsu and whoop up on everybody just because they got worse, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
you want to have earned this skill set where you've gotten to some battles with some people and you battled back and forth and you lost and you won and you lost and back and forth, and then finally it's like you're never beating me again, dude, because I got your number and I got the skill set now, and you're not going to ever come close to me again. And that's kind of the similar thing with this, like, drive out of your house. I can go to a different location, go get the stuff done. That's where you go and do your cardio.
Mhm.
Did you get your cardio done? You'll know because you either left the house or you didn't, right?
Mhm. Yeah, and when it comes to making things harder or easier, you're also not saying, okay, when's the gym the most busiest? When is it the most inconvenient for you to
Mm-hmm.
go? No, you're saying just get it done before training, whatever that looks like. Just get it done. Because yeah, in the morning there's no one there, and then traffic wise, it should normally take me like anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes to get to the gym. But when I go at 4 a.m., it takes me almost exactly 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, cause I catch every light and there's nobody there. It's perfect. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's nice. There's nobody out on the streets and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that, right? It
Yeah.
makes it
Yeah. This morning, the only person in the gym was somebody leaving because they had been like, they got off work and they were training at night. So that's how early I got there today.
Yeah, it
yeah.
makes it a little bit harder to make excuses too, because like when you do, I know some people who have a home gym where you'll go in, you'll work out a little bit, you'll get kind of tired, you'll go back inside and you won't go back in. When you have to go to a different setting, you need to actually leave that area. It's harder. Like you can still leave, but just the fact that you're already there makes you not want to quit.
The
Absolutely.
early morning workouts too, I think, are a good example of like anyone can wake up at like 7 or 8, but try waking up at 3. Like fuck, and then to try to do that on a consistent basis is really hard. I mean, part of the reason for the early morning workouts was just something that I've been working out early since I was a kid. I've been working out early. I've been used to work out before school when I was in high school. I've been messing around with this for a long time, and when I was powerlifting and I was in the middle of my powerlifting career, I didn't work out early in the morning that often, just because my sleep got so compromised it just wasn't a possibility
Mm.
anymore. But even all through high school, I lifted in the morning, and then even like into my 20s when there was no reason, I didn't have a job or anywhere to be. I just wanted to go to the gym and train early and get it done. Now I don't necessarily even do it for myself. I do it for the other people that show up at that time, because I kind of recognize with the group that I have, everyone's like super bummed and super disappointed when we don't work out that early, even though they fucking hate it. And I don't feel like I need that discipline anymore. I feel like I'm over it. I feel like I could work out at like 6 or 7 and be totally fine and not feel like I need these life altering morning workouts. But I just recognize, I'm like, I think everybody else does. So
Mm.
I shifted them back, and I'm like, we got to just keep them super early, because anything else is just not enough for everybody at the moment. So I'd like everybody to kind of raise their level, and I'd like to see everybody make progress. And I think I've talked about it many times here on the show, but it's that cascade of disciplines that sets forth everything else. It has nothing to do with the actual hour that we're waking up. It just has to do with the discipline of getting organized enough so that you can wake up at that time and be somewhere on time, and then have the rest of your day. That's the key. You can wake up at 4 a.m. once, and that's not a problem, but try doing it 4 days in a row, 5 days. Like it starts to beat your ass down,
Hmm.
and then you have to kind of search within yourself how you're going to be able to continue onward. Something weird happened to our clock. I'm not sure what it is.
No
No, it's just
Oh
way.
no!
63
Oh no! It's
minutes.
still right there. There
Yeah,
it
Oh
is.
my
63
gosh.
minutes,
There we
37
go.
seconds. Yeah.
I thought it fast forward somehow, because that doesn't seem like we've been going that long, but maybe we have.
No,
No,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, hour and
3 minutes.
Oh, there we go.
hour and 4. So maybe I just started it late.
This other one's kind of working.
Isn't that weird?
No, it's gone an hour. It just started at 51 minutes, so it's working. Yeah,
Hmm.
I think it feels like there's a little bit of competition with this new smaller clock.
Mhm.
So now it's like I'm a work.
Well, it knows that the return process has started.
Mm.
It's
Mm.
leaving. Yeah.
Sorry, buddy. See you later.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's all the time we got. Anybody have anything else to add?
Just
I don't think they hate the workouts as much as you're saying, by the way.
No.
Because I feel like if they're there, they
No,
must
no,
love
they
it.
no, they like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
the earliness sometimes is tough because we may or may not get the text message like in time for me to like put things in motion to make sure that I am planning on waking up that early. But now with cardio happening, that's every day, so it should be a little bit better for me. Yeah.
Shredded Goza is going to be interesting.
I can't wait.
Shred again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're getting there, buddy.
Yeah.
How's
yeah,
the body
thank you.
weight?
I haven't checked it today, but it's been so I just quick recap. Started at 192, quickly lost 7 pounds, ended up dropping down to 180, and I've been hanging around 179, 180 every day since.
Yeah.
So
If you ain't 180, you ain't a lady,
I guess I'm not a lady anymore.
Yeah, I think that's how the song goes.
Mm-hmm.
right?
That was a great song.
What is it? So what's gonna happen to him?
He's going to turn into
Uh-oh.
man.
That would be great.
That'd be weird.
That would be weird.
Get hair in weird places.
Yeah.
Shout out to our
Mhm.
sponsors. Appreciate all the support from our boys and girls over at Perfect Keto.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much every damn day, I'm either using the MCT oil powder or the ketones, dumping that stuff in my coffee. I actually have been mixing some of the Perfect Keto chocolate powder, and I've also used the salted caramel, which you guys for some reason haven't tried yet, even though I've been telling you guys about it. I've been mixing that with some Slingshot protein, and man, that shit is really good.
Yeah, I had some of the nootropics yesterday with our Keto Pro, and like it's weird the way the nootropic makes you feel. I was gonna add some Mind Blow, but I was just like, let's not go overboard. But like it's like
You'd
Mixing
start-
some
weird,
drugs.
You'd
man.
start hovering if you did that.
Seriously. So, but it's good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
really
make
good
great
stuff.
products.
Yeah, it's one thing for me to be super into nootropics, but again, like I said, my fiance Stephanie, she loves that stuff. She does a lot of things with her own like side hustle, and she's like, dude, I took some of the nootropic, and I got so much work done today. It's really amazing. I've been utilizing the MCT oil powder because these fasts, they're happening every day, so the hunger is starting to kind of build up when it normally wouldn't. So I'll mix in some MCT oil powder in my coffee, and I'm instantly feeling much better. If you guys want to feel better too, head over to perfectketo.com/powerproject. At checkout, enter promo code PowerProject for 15% off your order.
Hell yeah.
Dude, real quick, I know I'm not supposed to be having like protein shakes like just because, like, whatever. After lunch yesterday, I tried Quest vanilla protein shake. It comes in the ready to drink.
I had that. I had the I think I had the vanilla too. No, so I had the salted caramel.
Salted caramel is good. Chocolate's really good too. But on the
RTD, right?
the RTD,
Ah.
they have a like a perfect scoop of vanilla ice cream on the cover, and it's like, okay, yeah, like we get it. Like some proteins are gonna taste, vanilla. Like, okay, I get it. I kid you not, it tastes like vanilla ice cream.
Yeah, it tastes like a shake, bro.
But no, like vanilla, like it tasted like ice cream. Like it's amazing. Yeah. So I had that with lunch yesterday. Bad Andrew maybe, but it was incredible.
Yeah, those are surprisingly good because I think everyone that's listening has probably had one of those ready to drink, protein shake things.
Yeah.
A lot of the times they're very underwhelming. Like you just kind of chug it down so you can get it out of the way, just get your protein in. But this one tastes good. Like I wanted to enjoy it. And when I was done, I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's like it's not very powerful to get a protein shake and then not drink it, right? Like no one's ever like just dumped it out.
Yeah, I was explaining to one of the younger people here about the protein bars in the early days, how terrible they used to be.
Oh my god, yeah, like the original like Metrex bars and stuff like that.
I was talking about the like gold wrapper power bar.
Yeah,
back in the day.
I've had that.
Ooh, that is
I've
not
actually
good.
had that, yeah.
And I'm like, so
power bar,
like,
man.
That Quest bar you're eating right now is that, dude? If we had that,
see, I think companies like that, I think they messed everything up for everybody because I think that they they tricked you into thinking that shit had to be so gross for it to be
Right.
healthy for you.
Right.
And now we've been stuck in this rut ever since.
Yeah. But thankfully, we have Quest now. You guys don't have to deal with that. Head over to questnutrition.com at checkout. Enter promo code MarksQuest, all one word, for 20% off your order.
Get yourself a donut bar.
Just
Or
get a hero bar.
The maple pecan hero bar. Caramel maple pecan. Caramel pecan.
Yeah.
Blueberry cobbler hero
What about
bar.
out of the regular Quest bars? What are your favorite?
The s'mores bar.
S'mores. Yeah, that's what I was
S'mores
gonna
bar, I think, takes the protein cake.
say. I like it a little
Although
bit
the
more than that.
birthday cake is really good too. Birthday cake.
Yeah.
That used to be a staple. Like when we go to
S'mores.
the Arnold.
Yeah, the s'mores is damn good.
S'mores is the one though.
I haven't had the birthday.
What was that one I was going nuts about that one day? I was like, they need to inform me when they come out with a new flavor. Remember that, Andrew?
Yeah, I think it was the it's like double chocolate caramel or something like that.
Yeah, I was like, goddamn, Bruce.
Yeah.
Andrew laughing his ass
We
off.
need to set an alarm. Or there needs to be a notification on my phone when we
I
get
was like, this
new
is some
flavors,
shit right here.
and then magically that box disappeared.
Our boy DJ posted I need to try this because I only have right now 80-20 Piedmontese, but he put 80-20 and mixed it with his 98-2. And that just seems like it'd be so good. You know, just a good mix of the both.
Yeah.
Mixing that Piedmontese beef like that?
Yeah, he's a freak.
Is that even
Damn.
is that legal? Maybe. Oh, he's in Texas. There's a lot less like legalities.
And he's military. Everything's
He's
legal.
got what's it called? When you can just flash your badge.
Yeah.
I forgot what it's called, but that's what he got.
I don't know.
Privileges?
Yeah, we'll just say that. That's
Yeah.
what I meant to say.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I've been liking a lot of the grass-fed selections from Piedmontese. They're
Mm.
grass-fed and grass-finished. And I've really been liking the flavor of those. In the past, when I've tried grass-fed stuff, I haven't really dug it that much. I've noticed a drop-off in flavor, and I'm liking these.
Mm-hmm.
Really good.
Yeah, like I said in the past, like a good barometer of how good something is. I think that's the right word. Is give something to your kids, and like if they like it, you know it's good.
Yeah.
It's been really amazing seeing my 11-year-old just attack these flat iron steaks. And I mean, legit, like we'll be talking, and then I'll just like kind of point down at her plate, and Stephanie's just eyes will get huge because it's like, dude, she ate the steak first. Like she has like salad with like dressing and whatnot, but she absolutely attacks all the Piedmontese
great.
beefs. Yeah, and on top of that, she like requested to have the sliders. So I'm like, you get all the sliders that you want. Like it's
Wow.
yeah, it's amazing. We're not just hyping up this meat. I'm totally confident saying it's the best meat that you're ever going to find on the planet. That's how good this stuff is. You guys need to head over to Piedmontese.com. That's Piedmontese.com. At checkout, enter promo code PowerProject for 25% off your order. And if your order is $99 or more, you get free 2-day shipping.
Yep.
Bam.
Where can people find you, Nsima?
Oh, at Nsima Inyang on Instagram and YouTube.
There you go.
How about you, Andrew?
Hit me up on Instagram at I am Andrew Z.
At Mark Smellybell on Instagram and YouTube. Strength is never a weakness. Weakness is never strength. Catch y'all later.